Fans. Fans are the reason why any form of media, whether it be a show, movie, book, or whatever, has any longevity at all. Fans keep the stories they love alive, way past their initial release. They review it, talk about it, or even cosplay it. There's one way that fans express themselves that is sometimes feared. Fan-made content. Okay. Not all fan-made content is like that, but it can be bland at best or absolutely deplorable at worst. And I know I personally am guilty of making some fan content, but we don't need to talk about that. But some absolute gems can make it through and shine a bright light on the pile of crap below them. These pieces of fan-made media transcend the IPs that they were based off of and grow their own fan bases separate from that of the original. Today, we are going to be talking about one such piece of fan-made media that combines two huge names in all of video games. We're talking about Super Mario Bros. Z. Super Mario. The first face you think of when you hear Nintendo. Well, unless you think of Reggie, and if so, you should definitely check out this video we just made about him. It's pretty cool if you ask me, but just don't ask anyone else. Anyways, Mario, face of Nintendo. If Mario were to, let's say, compete in every Olympic game since the year 2007, who do you think he would do it with? Just a completely random scenario I just thought of. Just, if you could really rack your brain, you might think of a certain vast blue hedgehog, Bobby the Sonic the Hedgehog. Mario and Sonic are legendary gaming mascots, often pitted against each other. But what about when you put them together to go on an unforgettable, legendary adventure, full of action-packed fights inspired by Dragon Ball Z? Well, you get Super Mario Bros. Z. Super Mario Bros. Z, or SMBZ, was created by Mark Haynes, aka Alvin Earthworm, in 2006. He kept the series going until 2012 before canceling it, and people wonder why life hasn't felt the same since 2012. This series was stupidly popular, with it even getting its own IMDb page. Today I wanted to dive into the original series episode by episode and talk about SMBZ as a form of television, fan-made content, and how it treats the world and characters of Mario and Sonic. It's a series very close to my heart, since I watched it on my beat-up iPad 2 as a kid so many times. But without further delay, let's check out episode 1 of Super Mario Bros. Z, Bowser's Return.
Let's go! It's me, Mario!
Every episode starts with this cool little title card, which just adds a level of continuity that makes it feel more like a real TV show than just a YouTube series. And yes, there is an OP, but that wasn't in the original, so I'll link that in the description too. So the episode opens up with a Goomba stumbling on a funny-looking gem. Doesn't sound too important. And then some robot comes up and demands the emerald from him. It doesn't sound really that important. Let's move on past, the vaporization death of the Goomba. Yeah, let's just move on. Oh, let's get to Mario with the races. Hell yeah! It's Mario and Luigi racing against Wario and Waluigi. And here we get to see the dynamics between two of our main characters, Mario and Luigi. Boom. Their car is sabotaged and explodes in their face. Mario sits in the car like a little bitch, while Luigi locks in to repair that crap.
Hurry up already.
What? Mario, I swear! Luigi brings out the big guns and they're off. Thank God, I was about to smack Mario. The Mario Bros speed ahead of the Wario Bros, but they catch up, and the race is neck and neck. They speed towards the finish line, and oh, Mario, look out! Yep, it's Bowser. It was in the title, so don't act so surprised, okay? Bowser crashes the race and challenges Mario and Luigi to a battle. Oh, just Mario. Never mind. Damn, Luigi, I had so much faith in you before. Bowser makes fun of Luigi. I mean, rightfully so. Honestly, sorry, bud. But Mario isn't having any of this garbage, and it sets him off. However, this fight is a fight for the next episode. This is the first episode, and it does what a first episode should do. It introduces some of the main characters, gives you a taste of the action, and teases the ominous threat. Though, it's definitely one of the weaker episodes of the bunch, and it works much better when paired with the second episode. I honestly think that they should be one episode, which they are in the eventual reboot, but we'll get to that later. Episode 2 starts off with this robot guy again, finding those chaos, diamond, emerald things, whatever. Boring, not important. Let's get back to the action. Mario and Bowser waste absolutely no time smacking the crap out of each other. And Bowser rapid fires fireballs at Mario while he... Damn, Mario, I wasn't seeing you moving like this in the games. Yeah, throughout this series, Mario is an absolute powerhouse. And this is just the beginning. They're duking it out until Bowser makes one crucial mistake. He punches Luigi. And Mario is not having that, pulling a damn hammer out of his ass crack, adding some poison damage, I guess, when he gives Bowser pink eye with it. Well, Mario gets a fire flower and just... Bowser stands absolutely no chance. Wow. Mario just emotes on Bowser mid-battle. Now, the fight continues, and Mario continues to win until Kamek drops in a little care package for Bowser. Now that Bowser's equipped with this metal mushroom, Mario's a little bit outclassed and unprepared. Damn. Well, that was fun while it lasted, I guess. Alright, I'm gonna go watch something. Damn! The hell? Mario, don't touch that. Luigi just pulled it out of his ass.
Just what I needed.
This is where the Z part of the title shines. These battles are lightning fast and tons of fun, showing what Mark Haynes can cook up in the kitchen in a flash. Get it? Unfortunately, Bowser goes to capture Peach again. Ugh, and Mario's so done with her crap. Honestly, I don't really blame him. But then, oh, whatever that was turned out to be convenient. Now Bowser's gone, and... Well, now Bowser's gone, and... Episode 2 is where the story truly begins, showing off the sick fights, funny gags, and bringing the main gang together, having me frothing at the fucking mouth. Episode 3. Episode 3 opens in Peach's castle, where our newest members of the team, Sonic and Shadow, are asking for the help of the Mushroom Kingdom to find the Chaos Emeralds. Chaos Emeralds, huh? Sounds familiar, but doesn't ring a bell. I don't know what he's talking about. Shadow acts like a little bitch, saying that this matter doesn't concern these people and that him and Sonic need to do this alone. He's so cool. Sonic talks some sense into him, and Shadow relents and explains the lore of the emeralds. There's 7 powerful gemstones that will give someone unlimited power when they use them all. The gang sets out to find the Chaos Emeralds to avoid them from falling into the wrong hands. But Wario and Waluigi eavesdrop nearby and plan to steal the emeralds for financial gain, despite the literal godlike powers it can give you. Yeah, I guess that checks out for the Wario Bros not really thinking through their plan like that.
For beginning their search, the gang picks up Yoshi. And I honestly wish that there was a better introduction for Yoshi because he becomes the 5th and final member of the core cast. But Mario just finds him in a field somewhere. And I like to think that this is just like a random Yoshi that Mario just found. Like, what was he even doing?
But anyways, we're off, and the main plot of the show starts. We get this cute little montage of searching for the emeralds, and finally Yoshi discovers an emerald in a bush.
Let's go.
When I tell you that my heart sank here, like, how is Yoshi coming back from that? You can't air run your way out of this one, bud. Okay, yeah, point proven. I said that before actually watching that part.
Hold on, wait a minute. Oh my god, it's that robot guy! I guess he was kind of important. Huh. Well, he really wants the emerald. I mean, really wants the emerald, but Yoshi isn't having it.
Honestly, respect Yoshi. And now we get to see the first fight with the main villain of the series. And we start off strong. Mecha Sonic is beating down on Yoshi. But Yoshi honestly holds his own, and he's never been this cool in anything. Just look at that. But unfortunately, oh my god, Yoshi just gets obliterated. Like, obliterated. I don't even know what other word to use besides that. Just look at this.
Get him up, let him get up, let him get up, let him get up. Fight back! Fight back!
To be fair, Yoshi did eat and shit him out of his body, so I guess I'd be mad like that too. He spares Yoshi to avoid a confrontation with Sonic in the gang. Sonic and Shadow have no choice but to reveal to Mario that it's been Mecha Sonic all along, who followed them from their dimension to get the emeralds. But they've got to rush Yoshi to the castle, and the episode ends here. Damn, is Luigi as fast as Sonic?
That's Mama Luigi to you!
Episode 3 continues the momentum from the previous 2 and ramps up the action and stakes even more. Everything you'd want in an action series. And when I say ramped up, I mean going from drinking coffee to snorting cocaine. This is the first battle featuring the series' big bad Mecha Sonic, and it does not disappoint. From now on, we understand the threat he poses not only to our main characters, but to the world at large. And we'll come to understand that even more in the next episodes. It starts with Mario and Luigi's house, where Yoshi's getting nursed back to health by none other than Dr. Mario, who uses his best power-up yet, fentanyl. I love it when Luigi's just chilling in the back, sipping on some, coffee. Hell yeah. So Sonic begins to finally give Mario some much-needed context on who just kicked Yoshi's ass. It all started back on his home planet of Mobius, where Sonic used to fight Dr. Eggman. You know the drill. Eggman started making robot versions of Sonic to beat him up, but they always lost, until one robot, Metal Sonic, kept on re-challenging Sonic again and again, getting more powerful each time, eventually growing a rivalry past his programming to want to kill Sonic. Eventually, he decides to take matters into his own hands, breaks into Eggman's lab, and absorbs every previous robot Sonic to become Turbo Mecha Sonic. Dude, that's such an over-the-top name. I love it. It fits the series so well. But Eggman? Nah, he didn't like that, and he threatened to shut Mecha Sonic down. Unfortunately for him, Mecha Sonic did not care, bringing down his entire space station into the planet below, sending it into chaos. Speaking of chaos, Mecha Sonic's hunger for power led him to chase the 7 Chaos Emeralds, killing each and every one of Sonic's friends. Oh my god, dude, Knuckles is dead. He just shot him point blank. That was honestly pretty brutal watching that. Anyways, Mecha Sonic gathered 6 emeralds and finally took down Sonic for the final one. He began to transform until Shadow comes in and uses Chaos Control to transport them to the Mushroom Kingdom. However, using the absorbed Chaos energy, Mecha Sonic teleports there too, leaving Sonic and Shadow to repair an old Eggman time machine and follow him. The story brings Peach to tears, but inspires Mario and Luigi to put in their all to not only help Sonic and Shadow, but to stop Mecha Sonic.
Here we go! Super Mario Brothers!
You guys are so awesome.
Shut your freaking mouth up.
I remember this scene actually, made me cry a little as a kid. And don't laugh, okay? I literally saw the sprite of Tails getting strangled, and it brought tears to my eyes. Wow, I really should have been bullied way more. The gang is interrupted by Egad's drunk driving, and he presents to them his new invention. A Game Boy. But not just any Game Boy. It's a Game Boy that can track Chaos Emeralds. He even has one himself. Oh, and it's gone. Okay. In a flash, the gang uses the Game Boy to track the stolen emerald. Only to find the Teenage Mutant Ninja... wait, no, it's the Koopa Bros. The Koopa Bros are these goofy enemies from the Paper Mario series who actually made their first appearance in the Japanese manga Super Mario-kun back in the early 2000s. So, the Chaos Emerald was stolen by the cornballs of the Mushroom Kingdom. And you know what that means? Oh yeah, it's time for a sick battle. Fists, kicks, explosions, colors, flying everywhere. You finally get to see Luigi, Sonic, and Shadow in combat. Boy, they're freaking sick! Each of them have their own distinct fighting styles too, which is a nice touch. Mario's a powerhouse, using really strong strikes. Sonic is fast and calculated. Luigi uses his environment to his favor. And Shadow he's just Shadow. He's relentless and angry, and he wants to embarrass you. But when they team up for an attack, you'll never know what to expect. Look at this! Can you tell that I'm enjoying this? The gang wipes the floor with the Koopa Bros, absolutely disrespecting them. How do you get caught like this? But then, they utilize the power of the Emerald and knock them all down with one attack. They nab the Game Boy and make off to find the rest of the emeralds for themselves. And this is where the episode ends. Episode 4 is the longest one yet, coming in at a whopping 21 minutes long. It's good. Definitely the best one so far. You got some downtime and emotion in the beginning with the backstory, and then you jump right into some explosive action in the second half. Though I do feel like the backstory section is a bit long. Pacing doesn't really suffer though, as Haynes knows how to transition from a slow moment to a fast one with some tact. Episode 5. Trouble on Yoshi's Island. What do I have to say about Trouble on Yoshi's Island? Well, it's certainly the longest episode thus far, beating the previous one, clocking in at 27 minutes and 55 seconds long. And it's a 27 minutes and 55 seconds well freaking spent. Starting off the episode where the hell are we? This reminds me of something. Turns out it was just a dream, but it gives us a glimpse into how heavy the threat of Mechasonic is weighing down on Sonic, and how he feels solely responsible and alone, despite trying to constantly band together with the others. It also shows the strength of Sonic's character. With all of this weighing down, he's still one of the most upbeat characters of the bunch, always trying to keep things positive. He wakes in Mario's house and... Damn! Shadow just disrespected Mario's girl. Is he really just gonna let that slide? My guy Mario has spent the last 40 years in several kingdoms in dozens of games to save this one woman, and you're gonna let Shadow, the fucking hedgehog, call her a crazy woman? Yeah, maybe I would let it slide too if I saw that. So, how did we get here? Well, apparently after the embarrassing defeat at the hands of the Koopa Bros, Mario was the only one conscious and carried every single one of them back to his house. Okay, damn, Mario. Maybe you could just beat up Shadow. Hold on. And this whole time, Luigi is just... I don't know what he's doing. He's being Luigi. Egad shows up with another gem radar. Well, it's actually a radar to find the gem radar that he already made. Yeah, I agree with you, Sonic. So the Koopa Bros are on Yoshi's Island. Yeah, Yoshi does not like that. They all set out to Yoshi's Island, but not before Peach gives Luigi some shrooms.
Oh yeah, Luigi.
Now it's time to
Travel by map. Luigi.
So now we're in Yoshi's Island, and Luigi finds a Chaos Emerald already. Dang. Egad snatches that shit up and gets snatched up himself. And instead of helping, Luigi just... Oh God, I love you, Luigi. Shadow deduces that the emerald is fake because he can't sense it with his Chaos Control. And the gang gets ambushed by a ton of angry Yoshis. And they are not open to negotiations. Well, I guess it's time to go with them and see if you can continue talking. And Shadow. Shadow, he's dead. You just killed him. Okay, never mind. I guess they're just gonna start laying an earth-shattering, teeth-chattering, brain-splattering smackdown on these poor Yoshis, I guess. And it's freaking awesome. I especially love this team up with Luigi and Sonic. Like, this would totally be a special move if this was a video game, and I love it. And Mario shows the Yoshis what he learned in the dungeons, if you know what I mean. Oh yeah! This is all cut short as our Yoshi finally arrives to try and put a stop to this. But finally, a voice of reason from the Chief Yoshi. Wow, I mean, he can actually speak English. Huh. Turns out this is the same Yoshi from the game Yoshi's Island. We get this cute little flashback montage with him and baby Mario. It's so adorable. And he goes on to explain in beautiful MS Paint fashion that he had found the Chaos Emerald days before, but it got taken from him by these mysterious invaders who enslaved the entire Yoshi tribe, forcing them to mine for Chaos Emeralds. Shadow, I feel like there's a more pressing issue here. The gang agrees to help free the Yoshis, and that they do.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
Finally, after finding the fake Chaos Emerald, they see the real one. But as Sonic reaches for it, boom, it's gone. Snagged by none other than the Koopa Bros, the bums of the Mushroom Kingdom. But not even a second later, the gem is re-snagged. Re-snagged? Double snagged? Snagged? It's the gem is stolen from the Koopa Bros by the Axum Rangers X. And who are the Axum Rangers? Well, this whole time I thought they weren't even Mario related. They were like made up or something, but doing research for this video, I actually found out that they're enemies in Super Mario RPG, created by the Master Smithy. Huh. They look so stupid. Okay, back to the episode. I mean, do I even have to say what comes next? 3 groups of powerful warriors who are all after the same gem. Yeah, it's time for a battle sequence. Beautiful. Absolutely fucking beautiful. I love how it's just an absolute free-for-all. Sonic teams up for a second with the Koopa Bro, and then he uses his body as a weapon, and then he starts punching him. Because of course he would, he's a damn Koopa Bro. But also, hell yeah? Of course these clowns can't handle the fighting, so they opt to use the Chaos Emerald again. Unfortunately, this alerts the one and the only Mecha Sonic, who rushes towards Yoshi's Island to intercept the emeralds. And that's the episode. Definitely a good one. Honestly, probably the best one so far. We got good world building, some funny gags, and some sick action at the end. Though most of the action will be in the next episode. However, we're currently at the mid-season point, so we're gonna do a little thing we like to call the Planet Saturn Mid-Season Siesta. It's a real thing. Don't look it up. Okay. That was a lot to take in, so let's break it down. So Sonic and Shadow are chasing the Chaos Emeralds, but so is Mecha Sonic. To stop him from gaining full power, they sent the emeralds to the Mushroom Kingdom, and now they're scattered everywhere. And they've asked Mario and Luigi for help. Mario, Sonic, Luigi, Shadow, and Yoshi. These are our main characters for today, and I want to talk about how Haynes portrays them in the show. First up is Sonic. Sonic is a do-gooder who constantly tries to uplift the group and keep them together. Even when something doesn't directly have to do with him, as you'll see later on in the series, he still puts in the effort to do the right thing. He's not very cocky or immature though. This is definitely a more mature Sonic. And it makes sense because he's seen all of his friends slaughtered, and he's traded his cockiness for humbleness. And this humbleness comes from the suffering that he's been through. Shadow. Shadow is the opposite of Sonic. He only wants to pursue the goals that are in his best interest, whether he does it alone or not, and he constantly butts heads with Sonic. He's very, very, very angry, leading the viewer to question what happened to him on Mobius. Did he lose more than Sonic to make him this way? Or can he just not handle the pain, and he's choosing to lash out, unlike Sonic, who's trying to lift other people around him? He lacks loyalty to anyone other than himself during the show, and he's probably my least favorite of the main cast. But he kicks some major butt, which gives him a lot of points in my book. Mario. Mario's a hero. I mean, yeah, no shit. Similar to Sonic, Mario is always willing to do the right thing and develops loyalty and respect for those close to him, even Sonic and Shadow, who he's just met. He's a pretty serious guy who's willing to do what needs to be done, but he's got a code of ethics unlike Shadow. Unless he's on Yoshi's Island, then I guess all his morals go out the window. Luigi. As I said before, Luigi's without a doubt the comic relief of the main cast, and, well, it just works. The fact that we never understand what he's saying, aside from a few select words, just actually makes it even funnier, especially paired with the constant physical gags, like how he can never travel properly on a map. It's honestly one of my favorite parts. He's fiercely loyal to Mario and will gladly play support to his more powerful brother in a battle. But when it gets rough, Luigi can definitely pack a punch too. Yoshi. Yoshi's a little hard to describe. it's hard to tell what his motives are most of the time. He's probably doing this out of loyalty to Mario at first. In the Yoshi's Island episode, he gets involved because, well, it's Yoshi's Island, and that makes sense. But other than that, sometimes you wonder why he's helping. He's definitely the most underdeveloped in the show, and I would like to see him do more. Honestly, I like Shadow better than him. I'll say that, actually. But besides that, Yoshi kicks a lot of ass, and that's good enough for me. All 5 of these guys come together to form a group full of dynamic personalities that make for some great comedic and dramatic situations to drive their interactions and even the story, too. Although I do think that they are limited by only having 2 speaking characters in the main cast, it can get a little tiring sometimes to constantly have Sonic or Shadow translate whatever Mario, Luigi, or Yoshi is saying so that we, the viewer, can understand. But I do get why they were made this way. I mean, they've rarely had full sentences of spoken or written dialogue in their own games. It's almost like adding a voice to Link.
It is boring around here.
Never again. Aside from the main characters, I believe that Super Mario Bros. Z also shines in its supporting cast. From Bowser to Egad to the bummy Koopa Bros. It's always fun to have a new and different character on screen interacting with the others. Am I forgetting anyone in the main cast? No, I don't think it's... Mechasonic. Sorry, I almost forgot to mention you. You can move away.
Time we found out who's the strongest in the universe.
So, not sure if I've already mentioned this, but I'm not an avid Sonic fan. I have no issue with the games, I just never really played them a lot. So let me just tell you, I was shocked when I found out that he's a complete and utter bum in the games. Mechasonic is a great overarching villain that never takes away the spotlight from the lesser villains, yet always stays in the back of your mind and comes back when you least expect it. I was definitely a little afraid of him as a kid too, I'm really not gonna lie. I was afraid of a lot of things as a kid, if you can't tell. Moving on from the characters, I want to talk about the animation and actual technical quality of the show. And, well, sometimes you can tell this was made in the 2000s. We'll say that, but other times you get to experience the finest fight scenes that YouTube Flash animation has to offer. Chef's kiss. Mwah. Each fight and action sequence is a blast to watch. And Haynes really gets creative sometimes with the way these characters fight, making sure to grab your attention with each punch and kick. I also might be a little biased because I really enjoy sprite animation. I mean, stop motion animation would also be really sick. I personally love doing stop motions. Aside from the fight scenes, the animation does pretty good to convey characters' emotions and does well to incorporate some comedy through the way that they move and act. Though I will say these random zoom in parts haven't aged the best.
No, you like Nintendo?
Moving on to the plot, it's definitely not terribly original, but it works. Heroes need to get the MacGuffins before the villains get them. It's a story structure that provides clear goals for our characters and lots of room for tension, action, and development. So, like I said, it works for SMBZ, and I enjoy that. There's not a lot I have to say about the story other than I like it so far. I think the stakes are rising steadily as they should. We're learning about our characters, we're learning about the world. Things are coming together in a way that makes sense. Now, as the Planet Saturn mid-season siesta comes to an end, it's time to pick up with the next episode.
Mamma mia!
Oh my God!
Brawl on a Vanishing Island. Damn, that title's sick. This episode is absolutely wild. We start off on a peaceful beach, catching up with the Wario Bros and their less than successful efforts in stealing the Chaos Emeralds. We'll just say that. Before thunderous explosions fill the air as the rock music kicks in and we jump headfirst into the all-out brawl. The next 5 minutes is filled to the absolute brim with punching, kicking, smashing, spinning, exploding action. One of the Action Rangers splits a mountain in fucking half. Yoshi uses Luigi as a weapon to smash the Koopa bombs, and Mario powers up into a beast with the Fire Flower and wrecks the Red Ranger. I'm not crying right now, you are. Then it comes to a halt as the music cuts out, leaving a chilling silence as the Red Ranger uses the Chaos Emerald to power up his laser, as he then uses it to completely obliterate the mountains on Yoshi's Island. The island is beginning to vanish before our very eyes.
He said it!
This moment gave me genuine chills rippling across my skin. And it's not from fear or anything, but from the fact that the stakes have just been so astronomically raised in that one moment from what they were before. But it doesn't stop here. The Koopa Bums decide it's time to step it up and charge their special attack. Silence again. Shadow senses something. It's him. He's here. Mechasonic barrels right through the Koopa Bums, reducing their once powerful attack to nothing. And alright, yeah, good job, Mechasonic. You can leave now. You did your job. But he then moves on and destroys the Red Ranger's ship, tanking the mountain-destroying beam. And then we get a nice little reminder that this was made in the 2000s.
It's over 9,000! What, 9,000?
Mechasonic takes both Chaos Emeralds and absorbs their power.
I'll crush you!
But he's soon challenged by the Axum Rangers. Unfortunately for them, Mechasonic is just way too powerful. He starts beating them up and, oh my, he's killing them! Oh, he's dead. Oh, she's dead. They're all dead. This is the moment Haynes makes it clear to you that by no means can the Chaos Emeralds fall into Mechasonic's hands. He must be stopped. He just dispatched those guys in a minute. The gang engages Mechasonic, but they're no match. Even Mario gets put down like a sick dog. Dang. One thing about this brief battle is that you're able to see Shadow slip further and further from the others, even using Sonic as ammunition against Sonic's own will. He's being consumed by his need for revenge. Mechasonic moves to the skies and charges a blast to destroy Yoshi's Island in its entirety.
I'm sorry, what?
I guess that title makes sense now. My God, Haynes. There's nothing they can do now as the blast charges, and Shadow can't even use Chaos Control without an emerald. But in this panic, Luigi, the goat, remembers something. Even luckier, Mario finds a superstar, asking Sonic to share its power with him and pull off one last fight against Mechasonic.
Now, this is epic.
Soaring above the island, they barrel right into Mechasonic, taking the emeralds out of him. Unfortunately, a superstar power-up only lasts for so long, and Mario and Sonic go hurtling back towards the island. I mean, fall damage doesn't really exist in this universe anyways, but that's the least of their problem, as Mechasonic slams his ball of fire down into the island. But at last, Shadow gets his hands on a Chaos Emerald, and poof! Shadow saved everyone. Our heroes got the emeralds. They got it with their lives. They won. But at what cost? The Yoshis look out at the burning husk that used to be their island. They band together to look for a new home. Egad goes back to the lab, and our heroes move on to find the next emerald. Yet, unbeknownst to them, someone is following them. This episode is probably my favorite. I mean, there's so much electric action, some of the best in the show, I'd say. And the stakes feel so high with the destruction of an entire island. It also really power scales Mecha Sonic and increases the threat he poses as a villain, with him demolishing the Axum Rangers and the Koopa Bros and destroying the island. One thing I really wish we actually got out of this episode was some more emotion from the Yoshis after the complete destruction of their one and only home. Especially our Yoshi. Earlier I questioned his motivation for helping Mario, but now this is a clear reason why Yoshi would want Mecha Sonic dead. Yet he keeps on doing that silly little dance. I mean, it's not a huge thing for me, but I feel like it would have added a lot more to the story and Yoshi's character if you could see the impact that the destruction of his home has on him. But besides that, I thoroughly enjoyed this episode.
Fuck.
Secret of the Pipe Maze. I really want to love Secret of the Pipe Maze. I really do. And I don't hate it, far from it, but I can't look past the problems that I have with it. Secret of the Pipe Maze is a whopping 55 minutes long, and while I usually start drooling at the mouth for more SMBZ content, it does not need to be 55 minutes long. But that's enough for now. Let's actually look into this episode. So we drop in on someone we haven't seen since the beginning episodes. Bowser. Bowser has apparently been throwing a tantrum this entire time over being beat by Mario. Okay, that's actually really funny. I like to imagine that after every game he just does this. But he's interrupted by Cammy the Magic Koopa, who's giving him the startling news that Yoshi's Island has been obliterated. He does not take this well. However, he's interested in these supposed Chaos Emeralds, so he kicks Cammy out and consults with a mysterious old man. This is such a cool reveal. I was honestly originally disappointed that Eggman wasn't going to be in the series when, we saw him get shot point blank by Mecha Sonic.
Fuck.
Well, somehow he survived, and now we've got the two main villains of Mario and Sonic teaming up. Hell yeah. And in typical Eggman fashion, he doesn't learn from his mistakes, making a freaking Mecha Mario. Did you not see him obliterate Knuckles the Echidna, shooting him in the face?
No.
Alright, I'm with Bowser on this one. We move back to our heroes who have tracked down a Chaos Emerald to the mysterious Pipe Maze. But before we travel down there, we are met by a familiar Mario character. What's his freaking name? I gotta look him up. I totally forgot him. Okay, hold on. Stuffwell. What a stupid name. We're met by a familiar Mario character. Stuffwell. Mario, you just murdered your own brother! Okay, yeah, maybe he deserves it after that. Down in the Pipe Maze, the gang encounters an alarming problem. The radar can't pinpoint the exact location of the emerald anymore down in the maze, so they decide to split up. Shadow goes alone, but Yoshi and Luigi follow him secretly to make sure he's not doing Shadow stuff.
Why do you want to go to Mexico?
I just love Latinas, Sonic.
Mario and Sonic go the other way, and we get some funny pipe shenanigans going on here. There's this voice acted bit in the middle too.
What's that? Huh. I don't know. It kind of looks like...
They soon run into a seemingly impassable wall, so they decide to turn back around, but Mario senses something off. The ceiling shakes as Mario pays close attention before something comes crashing through the ceiling, and Mario jumps to save Sonic and Stuffwell. It's none other than Mecha Sonic. And here is the main problem I have with this episode. Why is Mecha Sonic the main villain here? We are just coming off of an episode destroying an entire island, and I don't feel like there's enough time away from Mecha Sonic for him to come back. It just feels like a step down for Mecha Sonic in relation to what he's done and what he's capable of. He doesn't feel as dangerous in this episode as he did in Brawl on a Vanishing Island. Granted, he had 2 Chaos Emeralds then, but even before getting them, Shadow was quaking in his boots at the thought of Mecha Sonic coming to the island. I don't know. That's just my opinion. So back to the episode. Mecha Sonic begins laying a smackdown on Sonic and Mario. But fortunately, Mario jumps into a pipe with Sonic to escape. Unfortunately, this pipe leads to a retro dimension where you're trapped forever. Mario and Sonic end up running into 2 unfortunate victims of this dimension, Goombella and Professor Colorado from the Paper Mario series, who reveal that they've been stuck in this dimension for several months. Yeah, but for some reason all Professor Colorado is concerned with is the fact that his family's stopwatch has stopped working. Better than the stupid stopwatch, they found a freaking Chaos Emerald, all right. This lights a fire under Mario and Sonic's asses as they're determined to make it out of this cursed dimension. But now we leave them and rejoin Shadow, who's, less than happy to find Luigi and Yoshi following him.
Whoa.
They're soon intercepted by Stuffwell, who warns them that Sonic and Mario are in danger. However, Shadow couldn't care less about them. But that is until Stuffwell mentions Mecha Sonic, and without another thought, he demands Stuffwell take him back to the pipe. Okay, stand on business, Stuffwell. Got more balls than Mario. Back in the cursed dimension, Mario and Sonic are confronted by the one and only Mecha Sonic. We get some sweet retro-style action scenes. I do appreciate this in this episode. Oh my god, is that a JoJo reference? Too bad Mario gets humbled immediately after. Wow. Mecha Sonic ends the fight in possession of the Chaos Emerald, choosing to leave using Chaos Control and leave Sonic and Mario here to starve. Or, damn. But it doesn't work in this dimension, leaving Mecha Sonic to decide to kill them himself after all. But now we're back to the others who've reached the pipe. Before they're able to go in, they get a call from Egad, who connects them to Professor Franklin at the University of Goom. He goes into his drawn-out explanation of the historical origin of the portal, known as the Minus World, being used for prisoners of war hundreds of years ago, and now it's impossible to escape. This goes on for way too long, so I just shortened it a lot. Anyways, Shadow just jumps in. Yoshi's ready to follow too, and Luigi... well, he's being Luigi. Yoshi goes without him, leaving Luigi depressed and alone. Back in the Minus World, Sonic and Mario are down for the count. And Mecha Sonic is about to destroy Goombella and Professor Colorado. I would too for them repeating that joke.
Oh. And then they have this cute little fourth wall break talking about how people might not remember the previous episode because this one took like a year and a half to come out. It's almost like this video.
But bam! Shadow drops in with some freaking awesome moves.
Damn!
When Shadow lets loose in this show, it's so fun to watch in a way that the others aren't. Like, it's fun to watch everybody else just go ham on somebody in a fight, but Shadow is just relentless. And it's just, he just destroys them. Shadow nabs the Chaos Emerald, and Chaos Control doesn't work for him either. They're trapped forever. Back to depressed Luigi, he sits there feeling guilty for being such a coward, looking at a picture of him and his brother. he remembers that he's Luigi, one of the Mario brothers, and he leaps into action to save his friends. Oh, give my men a break, please. The others seem to have nothing better to do than to kick some ass. But as Professor Colorado continues to lament about his non-functioning watch, the heroic Luigi lands right on his head, causing him to drop the watch, which turns out to be a magical watch that breaks the curse? How convenient. But this is only temporary, and the gang needs to rush to an exit while dodging Mechasonic's rain of bullets. They make it by the skin of their sacks. Twice! Now, they're all back safe and sound at Mario's. Mario, you are on thin ice, buddy. Their arrest is short-lived, though, because Peach went and got captured by Bowser. Oh, come on!
Oh no!
As mentioned earlier, this episode is my least favorite. I'm sorry to say. It went on for much longer than it should have, had too many lengthy scenes of dialogue, and I didn't really love the use of Mechasonic in this episode. Don't get me wrong, Mechasonic is still an extremely formidable and powerful villain in this episode, but I feel like we're seeing him much sooner than we should after episode 6. Goombella and Colorado are funny, and I like how Luigi saves the day in his own Luigi way. Ooh, nice rhyme. So, not a bad episode, just my least favorite. And Shadow needs to stop being such a bitch. And here, we get the last full-length episode of Super Mario Bros. Z, The Great Doomship Offensive. If Secret of the Pipe Maze was a shitty appetizer, then The Great Doomship is the 5-star entree because holy shit! You'll understand why it has great in the name. For one, the production value has definitely improved. There's lots of new stuff to see, so let's get into it. We start off with Bowser's Star Destroyer, Doomship, pulling up on Peach's castle and kidnapping her. What else is new?
Motherfucker!
We get one of the new features of this episode, which are the close-ups for dramatic, intimate moments. I honestly wasn't sure how I felt about them at first because, well, come on, after 7 episodes of just sprite animation, you can't show me this and expect me not to be taken aback. But after watching this episode like 5 more times for this video, I can say that I actually like the close-ups, and I think they add to the show. Moving back to the episode, the gang is distraught at the loss of Peach, and how they have no idea where she is. But conveniently enough, Bowser was nice enough to post a note on the inside of Mario's door. So you're telling me Bowser can just get into Mario's house and leave a note whenever he wants? Yet he chooses to kidnap his girl over and over? He just does it for the love of the game. Sonic says that he and Shadow will gladly help Mario and Luigi since they've done so much to help them. But Shadow calmly disagrees.
Oh!
Sonic has finally had enough, echoing what we've all been thinking. Shadow, you've been a little bitch. Shadow doesn't take it well. We get a glimpse into what happened to Shadow and Mobius. Rouge. Yeah, I'd crash out too if I lost this, not gonna lie. After a long argument, Shadow decides to head out for the emeralds on his own. With no other choice, the gang leaves to save Peach without him.
Sonic!
What was that?
Sonic!
Mario, can you repeat that one more time?
Sonic.
I'm sorry, but hearing Mario say Sonic like that is making me crack up. Dude, that's another thing. Mario and Luigi kind of speak more in this episode. If this counts as speaking.
Princess!
But anyways, the gang heads to EGAD's lab for some sweet new tech. Oh, there goes Luigi again.
Thank you.
I don't think I mentioned it, but the Luigi thank you sound is so cute. I actually love it whenever it's used. Okay, EGAD. This is such a fun sequence, especially when Egad brings out the mega slingshot to send them into the air. Yoshi, bro, put that freaky ass tongue away for once, please. You saw what Mega Sonic did to it. We also get a little emotional moment with Sonic reminiscing about flying around with Tails. It's easy to forget how much Sonic has gone through to get to this point, but it's still very real for him. And this also happens. As the gang flies on, we go to Bowser, who is talking to the mysterious old man from before who may know more than he's letting on. But Bowser's a moron, so he's just going to taunt the helpless woman next to him instead. That is, until Mario zooms into his sights, racing towards the Doom Ship with the others in tow. The Doom Ship blasts its powerful cannon, but it's too slow for Egad's plane. And amidst the chaos, a certain blue hedgehog catches the old man's eye, leading him to go tie up some loose ends. Before we can dwell on that, though, you know what time it is. That's right, it's time for a sick-ass infiltration fight sequence. This is just, it's absolutely electric. It's electric. With the power-ups, the spinning, the speed, even Luigi and Yoshi get in on some of that. That is until they run right into a small army in the hangar. But it's no problem because Mario and Sonic are here, and the gang starts to power up. But Sonic's in trouble and he...
No!
Holy shit! This is fucking awesome! Haynes really put his whole Haynosi into this. It's everything you want from an SMBC action scene, and we all know that the best fight scenes in this show are the ones where Luigi is used as a weapon. But it's all cut short as we're confronted with Basilisk, a genetically modified Koopa, who wants revenge on Mario for killing his Koopa brothers, especially Koopa number 3 in room 2 of a castle, his best friend. Mario doesn't give a damn, though he doesn't remember any of them. Until Basilisks turn all his friends to stone, then it's time for Mario to lock in. Let's kick some shell ass, please.
Thank you.
While Basilisk is a worthy foe for Mario, he's still getting his butt handed to him, so he needs to use one of Mario's only weaknesses: his friends. With this, he poisons Mario and delivers a disgusting smackdown. I think Mario says it best. And, well, that's it for this episode. As a kid, this was the last episode I got of this series, and I was, well, dissatisfied to say the least, because this episode was honestly one of the best yet. And leaving it off on a cliffhanger just killed me. Thankfully, we get a short continuation of this a little while later. It's silent, save for some atmospheric music. It's Shadow, alone in the desert searching for the Chaos Emeralds, yet he feels guilt for leaving the others, asking a certain Rouge if it was the right thing to do. But he doesn't have much time to think, as Mecha Sonic's ugly tin mug shows up and does what he does best: kicking ass. But we're back to Mario's last stand, as Basilisk prepares the killing blow on our red-clad hero. Until Luigi breaks free of his stone prison using the power of the Tanuki suit and bashes Basilisk across the face. What the deuce? I don't think I've ever heard anyone say what the deuce in my entire life. 2012. Unfortunately, this episode is a mere 3 minutes and 58 seconds long, and it's the last official episode of Super Mario Bros. Z. Earlier, I said that I was freaking out about the cliffhanger in episode 8 when I was a kid, and yeah, in my eyes, Mario was just dead. Like, that was it. That was the end of the series. But when I finally saw episode 9, I was relieved. Honestly, I was way too invested in this series.
Luigi, oh yeah. Oh yeah.
The original run of SMBZ was great. I really wish it went on for longer, but, you know, that's what happens sometimes. But Mark Haynes actually began working on a reboot of the series a few years back. And when I say reboot, I don't mean like just fixing the animation or something. I mean like a Neon Genesis Evangelion type reboot. Like, look at this. This isn't Mario Kart. The animation is beautiful. The comedy hits the same. And we get updated dialogue boxes, character models, music, everything. And we finally get an OP. Oh yeah. There's always a certain charm with the original series, but you can't deny that this reboot rocks. Though for some reason they renamed Mecha Sonic into Metallics, or Metallics. I think it's Metallics. He's still the same ass-kicking villain, so whatever. Let's see how many episodes there are. 2 episodes. The last one was 4 years ago! So Nintendo did what Nintendo does and took down Haynes' Patreon back in 2016. Though he was still able to get the second episode of the reboot in production years later, this hindered progress a lot. Looking back in his Twitter archives, the last post about episode 3 of the reboot was back in the summer of 2024. Damn. During his time on Twitter, he would release his plans for the reboot, including everything he'd like to change from the original. One of these changes being removing the Pipe Maze episode. I knew it. It wasn't just me. That episode was shit. Well, in comparison to the rest of the series, it was not as good, or filler, as Haynes describes it as, which I'll have to agree with. Yeah, there was just a lot of things that felt like filler in it. He planned to start the series with the Metallic Saga, then do a movie, then do the Smithy Saga, which are lofty goals for such a long production timeline on just these 2 episodes. But hey, a man can dream, I guess. Doing research for this video is my first time being exposed to all the information regarding the reboot and Mark Haynes' Twitter, as it's actually really interesting to learn so much more about the series that I used to love as a kid. So SMBZ is a fan-made series, but there are fan-made continuations of a fan-made series. Like, that's how popular this was. I will say that I do like this continuation. I think that it does the characters justice and wraps up the plot in a nice bow. But there are so many other fan-made series that are inspired by SMBZ, and I encourage you all to check them out because people worked pretty hard on them. I haven't seen them all, but I plan to check a lot of them out. It's just really cool to see that there's still a sprite animation community that's inspired by this beautiful piece of media. All right, so after this long-ass video, what time is it at right now? 1 hour? Oh my God! I've been writing this, recording this, and editing this for way too long. But I love talking about this series. I really did. And I hope you guys enjoyed me talking about it. Please show it. Maybe. Please. Back to what I was saying. After this long video and going over the whole series again, do I think anything differently of the series? Yes. Do I think it's worse than before? Hell no. I feel like I enjoy it more every time I watch it, and learning about all the behind-the-scenes stuff makes me appreciate it even more. It honestly makes me more sad about the hiatus. But hey, you can't blame Haynes when he's got the lawsuit hammer of Nintendo hanging right above his balls. Anyhow, that was the video. Like I said before, if you guys enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and consider joining the planet Saturn. And if you don't, well, I might just destroy Yoshi's Island. Yeah, have that on your conscience. But before I go, remember that you are out of this world.